Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is your host, Overmind, and welcome back to another StarCraft 2 replay cast. Today we're going to be taking a look at a TVZ from the Gold League. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. Spawning down on the bottom left side of Daybreak Ladder Edition, in blue, we have our Terran player representing PWT. It is revzZ, with two Z's. Very cool. And spawning up at the top right side of our map, in red, we have our hero Zerg player, representing only himself, a member of the Overmind army. It is Rodisme. And Rodisme is going to do a bit of scouting around his opponent's base. Rodisme is actually someone who I'm quite excited to be casting this game for, because he has sent me replays of him playing as Protoss and Terran, both of which are up on my channel. And apparently he now mainly plays Zerg. So I'm quite happy both to be able to do the trifecta of casts for someone, and also to be able to cast his main race. Which is quite exciting that he sort of has a main race now, because while I am one of those people who really enjoys playing Protoss, I've been a little Zerg curious before. I had that phase in college where I was like, maybe I'll just 8-pool, hee. I'm the only one who has had that phase, apparently. But in any case, we'll go ahead and hop on back into the game. Rodisme is going to go ahead and go for the Expo before pool, which is generally speaking a pretty good decision unless you're playing in ZvZ, so can't fault him for that at all. Over here at our Terran base, we have the normal-looking depot barracks, producing Marines, throwing down a bunker here at the bottom to make a wall. This map, Daybreak, is a little bit interesting in that even though it's a two-player map, it feels like you have to go a really far distance to attack. Like, in order to attack, you have to follow one of these two very long paths. Here's our natural. You head all the way up here, and then all the way back down, and then back over here, just to get to the other person's natural. There are these rocks you can break down in the middle, but of course breaking down the rocks takes time. So this isn't a super great map for rushing. So, possibly we'll see a longer macro game out of this. But hey, I haven't actually watched this, I don't know at this time, so we'll see what winds up happening. I'm pretty excited. Over here looks like we do have an expansion coming on up for revzZ, who is building that on along. He has his one little bunker here at the front, loaded up with 4 Marines. I'm actually sort of surprised to see him moving all of his tech buildings and such into his main. I know that he has those add-ons there, but oftentimes you'll see a bit more in the way of a wall off when you're playing versus Zerg. Of course, maybe he's looking to be a bit more aggressive. He is researching Stim, and he's making Hellions, which of course are quite good versus Zerg, because they're so quick and can roast drones so effectively, especially in the early game. So maybe we'll see him push out and try and sort of keep Rod pinned back a little bit. But right now Rod is on 2 bases. Rod's just finished up his lair, and Rod is building a spire! Oh, I'm so excited. I've actually just cast another game, and there were mutalisks in there, and I've been in a mutalisk kind of mood for a little while. I'm quite excited. I like mutalisks a lot, except when they are flying around my base, and then they're terrifying. But mutalisks are pretty awesome. I'll be very excited if we have some mutalisk harass. Rodisme taking an expansion down here. Of course, mutalisks would be quite good on this map because of all the airspace right here outside of the main base for both of these players. Here we have a lot of units for revs just sort of clustered at the front, defending this ramp. I really think he could do a better job of walling this off a little bit, but that's completely alright. Looks like he's going to go ahead and add on his starport, so he is teching a decent amount. Does have his factory. Looks like he's going to switch that over to being a tech lab so that it can make tanks. However, he does have the Hellions out there in case of any wild, scary Zergling attacks. Of course, Hellions being quite good if a number of Zerglings are in a line. Not so much great if they have speed and surround you. So definitely want to consider doing something like, say, morphing those into Hellbats if there is a large attack here. Or just maybe doing a bit more. I really want him to wall off this section. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. But what I do know is that Rod is making 12 mutalisks. And 12 is a great number because they are, a non-zero number of mutalisks. So that is quite exciting to me. We have his 3rd base up. He should be droning that up shortly. And it looks like he's just going to go ahead and produce a whole bunch of Zerglings and more mutalisks, which I'm totally fine with. It looks like he's gearing up to go into attacking mode. Right now we have 41 to 59 army supply in favor of Rod. Worker supply also in favor of Rod. Not that unusual for a Zerg player to have more workers at this stage of the game, though. Here we have the mutalisks majestically flapping their way across the map. There's no static defense here. We have a few workers killed off. We are hitting a lot of those supply depots. There we go, getting a few more worker kills. Definitely want to move back once those Marines come in. There's the stim. Move back, Rod! Move back now! Run! Flee! Most of the mutalisks flee. There are two here in the back that are just going to town on these supply depots. These ones fairly low in health. Definitely want to wait for the regen on those. And it looks like revzZ is just going to decide not to deal with this. Not an issue. Totally fine. Alright, there we go. Dead mutalisks. So, game's going to stabilize again. We see additional upgrades being researched by our Terran player, which of course will make those Marines all that much more terrifying. And Marines are quite good versus, say, mutalisks. So, definitely want to be careful there if we are Rod. Looks like Rod's going to go ahead, fly on in, focus down this tech lab. We also see a large force moving in near the front. I don't know that these mutalisks should really be here since there are several Marines. Definitely want to back those up. Lots and lots of Zerglings coming on in. There are additional mutalisks flying around the main base right now, getting killed off by Marines. The real action, though, is actually with these Zerglings. We're doing a great job of tearing up this lower part of the base. I think they're probably going to kill off this expansion, or at least all the workers for the expansion. And that, in fact, is the game. There's the end. I actually probably should have checked how long this game was, but that was a pretty quick game, very straightforward. Very nice tech switch by Rod, where he just got all those mutalisks, was aggressive, and wound up winning with Zerglings in the end. So, good job, Rod. Well played, well played. For those of you out there who enjoyed this cast and want to see me cast one of your games, go ahead and send it on in to noobcrafted@gmail.com. For those of you out there who enjoyed this cast and just want to lurk on my channel, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, or follow me on Twitter if you really just don't want to have any social interaction with me at all, and you'll be notified of my new casts and won't have to do anything. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the ladder.